Okay, let's dive into this because this is something every single one of us deals with. You know you need to do the hard work, that really important stuff, but your brain, it just seems to have other plans. So what is actually going on in there?
You've probably asked yourself this, right? Probably in a moment of total frustration. Why can't I just do the thing? Am I just lazy? Well, I'm going to tell you the answer is probably no. It has way less to do with some kind of character flaw than you think.
I mean, you know this exact scene. Your laptop's open, the to-do list is staring you in the face, but then your hand just kind of moves on its own. It reaches for your phone, and you tell yourself, oh, just for a minute. And that minute, you know it turns into 30, and poof, all that focus is just gone. Look, this daily tug of war isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a universal human experience. And to figure out how to beat it, we first have to get to the root of where it even comes from. And here is the absolute key to all of this. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you, not at all. It's just running on some really, really old software. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do to keep us alive for thousands of years. So what's in that software? Well, it's driven by a couple of core principles. Let's start with the first one, which is this powerful, primal drive to conserve energy no matter what. You have to remember, for our ancestors, just surviving was a full-time job. Wasting precious energy on something that wasn't immediately critical, well, that could mean you didn't have enough gas in the tank to hunt for food or escape a predator. So evolution literally hardwired our brains to be ruthlessly efficient, to always, and I mean always, look for the path of least resistance. And in our modern world, our brain categorizes work in a super simple way. Anything that's mentally challenging gets flagged as high energy, and your brain immediately puts up resistance to steer you away from it. Instead, it automatically, almost magnetically, pushes you toward the easy path. You know, things like scrolling social media or watching videos, which acquire basically zero mental effort. But wait, it's not just about saving energy. There's a second, equally powerful force pulling the strings here. Our brain's deep, deep love for immediate rewards. This is the instant gratification trap. Just imagine for a second you had two buttons in front of you. Button number one gives you an instant hit of fun. Memes, funny videos, you name it. Button number two starts a difficult task, like studying for an exam or practicing a new skill. Now be honest, which one does your brain instinctively want to press? Yeah, it's almost always going to be button number one. And this right here, this shows you exactly why. Activities like scrolling social media give your brain a huge, immediate spike of that feel-good chemical dopamine. But learning a new skill, at the very beginning, there's almost no dopamine reward. There's just confusion, mistakes, and frustration, all the stuff your brain is programmed to run away from. There's actually a name for this. It's a psychological principle called delay discounting. Our brains are literally wired to value something we can get right now way more than something we can get later, even if that future reward is way, way bigger. It's why a lot of people would choose, say, $500 today over a guaranteed $2,000 in a month. The immediate cash just feels more real, more valuable to our ancient brain. Okay, so we know our brain is programmed to be energy efficient, or lazy, and to chase instant pleasure. So what, are we just doomed? No, absolutely not. This is where we learn how to flip the script. This is where we start to see that feeling of resistance not as a stop sign, but as something else entirely. This right here, this is probably the single most important mindset shift you can make. That feeling of friction, that urge to just quit before you even start, that's not a warning telling you to turn back. It's actually a signpost. It's telling you that the thing you're about to do matters. It's a signal that real, meaningful progress is waiting for you, right on the other side of that discomfort. So, how do we actually push through it? Well, you have to start training your brain like it's a muscle. Think about it. When you go to the gym, you expect the weights to feel heavy. That resistance is what makes you stronger. It's the exact same thing with your mind. You got to expect that resistance to show up, and then reframe it. See it as the very thing that builds your mental strength. And then just persist. Get through those first few minutes because they're always the hardest. Once you're moving, momentum starts to take over. You know, another huge part of this resistance is the fear of failure. We see it as this embarrassing thing, an attack on our ego. But people who really achieve things, they have a totally different view. To them, failure isn't personal. It's just data. It's like being a scientist running an experiment. Every failed attempt just gives you more information on what to try differently next time. It's a totally necessary part of learning anything worthwhile. When you boil it all down, overcoming this comes down to a series of small, conscious choices that you make every single day. It's not about waging this massive, epic battle against your own brain. It's about making a simple decision over and over again. So every day, you're standing at this fork in the road. There's the comfort path. It offers that quick hit of dopamine, but it's usually followed by that feeling of emptiness, of wasted time. Then there's the growth path. It starts with discomfort, with resistance, but finishing that challenging task, that delivers this deep, lasting satisfaction that actually builds real confidence. One is your brain's default program, the other is your conscious upgrade. So what's a really good question to ask yourself the next time you feel that pull toward a distraction? Are you just going to let your ancient default programming run your life on autopilot? Or are you going to make the active choice to install an upgrade? Because in the end, that's what it's all about. Extraordinary results don't come from some big single moment of inspiration. They are the sum total of thousands of tiny decisions, of choosing again and again to lean into that discomfort for the sake of long-term growth. And that choice, right there in that difficult moment, that is where the entire game is won.